Welcome to Flipping Miami, a podcast for those who want to learn real estate investing, do more, and make more. Now, here is your host, Raul Bolufe.
Yo, what's up? Raul here, Flipping Miami, another episode. Dillon here, wholesaler, which we'll get into now just so people can get some context of, who's on the other side here.
Yeah.
This stuff is good, man. This stuff is like actually real things. Like a lot of it sounds like some crazy thing sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of it sounds like, oh yeah, I mean, he understands it, but I would never understand it. Or I don't even know where I would learn that. Like there's books. We could put them in the show notes. There's books I'm sure Joe could tell us at the end of the episode. There's ways to learn this stuff if this stuff interests you, right? It's not for everybody for sure, but I definitely think it's, if you are able to grasp some of these concepts, it can change your life in ways like you wouldn't even understand. You have to really. For sure. But dude, let's get into wholesale real quick. So I guess like what does your shit look like right now? What's your team look like? What's the here?
Yeah. So like, all right. So I actually I joined up with a partner. We did we built a wholesaling business back in 2013, I believe, or 2014. And then we went through a lot, right? We went through a lot of different learning and growing pains. We went through the whole roller coaster, right, where we were getting deals, and then we wouldn't get deals. And then we were getting deals and we wouldn't get deals. And, it was just kind of like crazy fluctuation, right? And so we'll transition kind of into a just straight business talk. What I realized was we went through a lot of that. Our bank account almost hit 0 3 times. There was like a period of time where we didn't get a deal for 4 months. And realized like, okay, there's got to be a better way than this. Right? There's got to be a better way to do this to where we can be consistent. Okay. But, we were still pounding the phones, we were cold calling, we were sending mail, and, we were trying to get that, we were really just trying to make money. Like it was just a hustle, right? Until we discovered that there's a science to this. There's a science to building a business, right? Science, and it's not an art. And so you literally just follow the science of building a business, and you can build a business. Right? You can have consistency. You can have, consistent months, right? You can have an automated business. And so, we hired mentors, we read certain business books, and we really started to properly structure the company. Okay, we automated our marketing, right? We put roles and responsibilities. We put accountabilities in place. We created a CRM. We started tracking all of our data. And then the big thing about tracking your data is you can analyze your data and you can see, okay, what's working, what's not working, right? We hired the right people as opposed to the wrong people. We input the right compensation structures. And we put people in the right seats. And then we also were able to really just put the right processes in place and delegate those processes to our team, right? And then boom, like we hit 7 figures that next year, right? 2015.
Nice.
And we were still obviously learning things along the way.
Yeah.
But we grew every year since then. And that's when I realized, like, okay, it's a system. All you need is the right freaking system, right? And so we learned all of those things, right? We inputted that system in place. And so, fast forward, right? We were doing, anywhere from 150 to 300 grand a month, in multiple different markets, virtually wholesaling in multiple different markets. Which we were looking for a mentor to do that with. And there was no one around, like no one had that down. And so we're like, all right, well, we got to freaking pave the way. And so, we did that. Boom, we entered into Tampa from DC. And then we just started, we started killing it. We just started crushing it. And so, specific strategies for that too, obviously. But so I actually, I realized that I wanted to do coaching. Okay. Because I absolutely love coaching. Coaching is I love doing it. Okay. As you can probably tell, right? So I realized that I really wanted to do that. And so, long story short, like me and my partner, we were in that business we ended up splitting ways. And I actually ended up, selling my ownership of that business, to pursue my passion, which is what I really wanted to do. And man, it was like when you're doing something that you're passionate about, it is so different. Oh man, it's so different.
Yeah, it's a whole other world.
It's like, yeah, I'll be honest, like I wasn't really passionate about flipping homes, Right. And so now I help other real estate investors and people that are interested in the space that have prior real estate experience. Let's say realtors, for example. I help them scale their businesses, just like we did, because a lot of them were where we were with the roller coaster, living deal to deal, right? Stressed because there's so much to do, overwhelmed, right? So I help them put that system in place. I help give them the business in a box where, there are processes already done for you. There's a CRM that tracks everything. That's the central hub. And, it's reporting to you on a weekly basis. It's giving you data. Really like I'm just, I just help them build a real business. And so, I've helped, really like my main ideal client right now is like, a wholesaler that's doing like 2 deals, 3 deals a month, right? 4 deals a month. And then they're really looking to scale up. And so, I've done that like, here in
that's awesome.
my client's office. And, before they were doing that, they were doing like 4, but they just got 7 contracts like last week, and, just crushing out those, and building those businesses, right? Like that's what I'm passionate about.
I love that.
And it's nothing short of amazing, right? And, I have
so dope.
Literally the blueprint, and I'm there like giving it to, investors, wholesalers, even real estate agents. I have a client in DC. They did like 700 last year, and ever since they joined up with my program, they did 700 by June.
Shit.
Before June, I think end of May. And so they literally like more than doubled their business, And so I also teach agents how to get into wholesaling because they already know real estate. They already know how to transact real estate. They already know how to talk to sellers. I don't really help any newbies because, there's too much hand-holding there. But I do help, I do help people that are in real estate scale their business, right? And so they added the leg of wholesaling. Those clients in DC, they added that leg. And they also hired me to help them just structure and systemize the business. And boom, like they started crushing it.
Beast, I love that, man. So basically, you help people get to 7 figures somehow, some way, and you've done it, right? Like you had the blueprint, especially in the wholesale space. So now you're passionate about helping the wholesalers, and I'm sure you get really involved in the deals they're doing, leads they're getting, how they're getting them, how do you track them, what CRM are they going in, etc. So pretty much still doing deals, just helping other people do deals, right? Which I love that. Yeah. Dude, I have one question that I like to ask everybody I get on here. What do you think is the next $100 million play in the real estate investing space?
All right. What do you mean when you say that?
Like what like niche or what angle can you take to build a $100 million company, let's say, or to make $100 million eventually?
Okay. Well, the first thing is, I think there are probably very, very few people that have gotten to that level in real estate for building like one strategy. Yeah, like a lot of people that are there, like they own commercial buildings and stuff like that. at that level, you're talking about like really investing into, big multifamily buildings, big commercial spaces. But if you're asking me like, what's like the next wave,
Yeah.
Well, one, I think wholesaling will always be around.
Yep.
Right. And so like, it's always a good way to really get started. It's a good way to get your foot in the door. And it's a good way to like, really what you're building is a real estate acquisitions company, right? Whether you wholesale it off, whether you keep it, like that's up to you. But what you're building is a real estate acquisitions company that is, that knows how to talk to sellers and knows how to, market to properties, right? That knows how to market to homeowners and get deals under contract, right? And so I think a real estate acquisitions company will always exist, right? Those will always exist. And so it's always good to have that as a base. What I'm seeing more of right now as the market is turning is like creative deals, right? Wraps and owner financing and things like that. I don't know that would, be enough to get you to $100 million level, but
whatever you think. Like if you think $100 million in real estate, like what the first thing you think of is what, commercial real estate?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big level, right? And so like that's the first thing that comes to my mind is like multifamily.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's funny. Like I like to ask that because it gets people's like minds turning. Like, 100 million.
Yeah.
It's just like.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think commercial for sure. And I think there's a win somewhere in the tech space of real estate.
Okay, see, if I didn't know you were asking about that. It's because the tech space are 100%.
Yeah, anything that kind of involves like real estate or investing. Like I know that there's a hard money lending company that got valued at $1 billion, and all they do is hard money all over the U.S.
Which one?
Lending home.
Oh wow!
Over $1 billion they got valued, and it's like a 30-year-old dude that owns the company, or
Yeah.
And but really, they're more of a tech company than a lending company. Like they raise money to lend people money, but they have like such a badass platform, and he built a system of getting loans and then selling them off in a very systematic way online. And, so it's crazy. Like I just like to get people's minds turning.
Absolutely. Like what I think there's way more money in tech than there is in like. And don't tell anybody I said this, but I think there's way more money in I won't call it tech. I'll say the digital space.
Yeah, digital.
Right. Because like technically, like I would be in the digital space, right? If I create a course, I sell the course. That's like you can make a lot of good money that way, right? Yeah. Now, the problem with that though is it's saturating the market with people that have no business selling courses.
Yeah.
Like someone makes like 100,000 and they want to sell a course. No, like you got
people that done one deal and they want to be a coach. I'm like, bro, you done one deal? Come on.
Yeah, see that's ridiculous.
It's like, I don't want to be a dream killer, but I'm gonna kill your dream, bro. You can't.
But you see, at the end of the day, like I think there's a balance with everything, right? So that'll balance out.
Yeah.
Meant to be there, then sure they'll be there. Most case scenario, like they'll get knocked out.
Yeah, 100%.
And they'll have to do something else. So there's also an equilibrium in business, right?
Yeah. The market pays for people who deserve to be there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And so but I think the digital space, there's a hell of a lot of opportunity. If you're talking about $100 million there, yeah, for sure. Like people that have created apps, right?
Yeah.
For any different segment of real estate, whether it's funding, right? Whether it's driving for dollars, whether it's CRM, you know what I mean? I mean, think about how much Podio probably makes. They probably make bank. You know what I mean?
That's actually a great thing to look up. I have no idea.
Yeah.